PHP 101. We're going to get into a little bit of why PHP in the next video, but I really want to get you interested by showing you how to create a simple program first. Seems like the correct way to do it. Why would I scare you away with all the boring stuff if I can capture you with the exciting stuff first? If you want to know how to set up PHP, set up a notepad editor, and how to save the file formats, I'll link to a video below in the description. I'm not about that life. This is going to show you the foundations. Like any other program, you're going to learn how to print, and it's quite simple. What I'm going to need you to do now is go to your text editor, whether it's Notepad, or if you're a little fancier and you use things like Notepad++, or if you decide you want to use anything else like that. But guess what? Your pre-installed regular old Notepad will work just fine. So let's go over to that. And I need you to create a new file, obviously called index.php. If you don't know why it's called .php, just wait till the next video and we'll explain all the boring stuff. Let's get right into your first program so we don't scare you away. The very first thing we're going to do is realize that this .php extension only means that you can run PHP in an HTML file. If we created a new file called index. Here, we'll call it something else. We'll call it home.html. We cannot run PHP code in here. We can run this HTML code because obviously it's an HTML file, but we cannot run PHP. Now we can run any HTML in a .php file and PHP, obviously. So we're going to do that. We have this regular HTML setup, title, hello, and I want to show this example. So if you don't know anything about HTML, well, you're kind of screwed, but we'll see about making some tutorials about that. You should know a little HTML. You don't need to be an expert, but you kind of gotta know something. Anyway, so the result we are going for, we're actually going to mimic in HTML. So we're going to have a regular paragraph tag, and we're just going to print hello world. Gotta have that capital. We have to be fancy. And so if we go to our index.php and we refresh, look, it says hello world, and we can inspect right here, and this shows us our exact code. It's just a plain old paragraph tag that says hello world. We can change it to anything we want. Just pure HTML, right? So now what we want to do is we want to mimic this in PHP. So right now we're just going to create a little break line, and then we're going to start our PHP. Oh man, that was stuck in me. Anyway, how do you tell the difference between what's HTML and what's PHP? PHP. I feel like I say that weird. Anyway, so the opening tag looks exactly like this. There's two different ways you can do it. You can do the question mark and then you can say PHP, or you can just do the question mark. It's just sad that I forgot what these are called. I'm going to call them alligators because that's what we call them in kindergarten. So because of my OCD, I don't know why, but I like to put PHP. And let's see if we can mimic what we did right here. Real simple. Hopefully this gets you persuaded into following the rest of the tutorials and becoming a computer science genius. Anyway, so right here we just declared a PHP script. The Apache server is going to go down the file and recognize that this is all HTML, whatever, and then it's going to see this PHP tag right here, and that's how it knows to read it as PHP. And it knows that because, like I said, we're in the PHP file extension. If we tried to run this in this HTML file extension, it would just print this as a paragraph, like it did in Hello World. There's two ways to print in PHP, and I'm sure there's more, but I mean, I only know two ways. So the very first way that I learned that is completely different than any other language is echo. So this echo is just print. It just means print this. So we can echo, and after that we're going to type echo in our PHP tags and have a space, and we're either going to put double quotes or single quotes, and we'll get into why you should differ between single quotes and double quotes later. So for now, we're going to go into double quotes, and we're just going to say, hello, world. And don't forget, after every single line of PHP, you need that semicolon. So let's save this, and we're going to head on over to our browser. And as you can see here, we currently have one paragraph tag that says hello world from our previous HTML. We're going to reload this, and there should be two. Would you look at that? And you can tell it's PHP because I forgot my period right here. So as you can see here, we have our HTML and we have our PHP right here. They're both printed as just regular paragraphs. A lot of people will teach you to do it just like a PHP file, just PHP and no HTML. But I really wanted you to understand the aspect that in a .php extension, you can run pure HTML and place the PHP tags and run a PHP script wherever you want in that. But I've got to admit, most of the PHP programming you'll have will be just pure PHP, unless obviously you're designing stuff. Anyway, so let's try to do this with just PHP. Guess what? Nothing's different. So we're just going to echo semicolon hello after our tags, and we're just going to say hello world. Okay, so we're going to save that, and we're going to go to our browser, refresh, and look at that. Obviously, right? Like it wasn't going to work. So, as I mentioned before, there's two ways that I know of at least to do this. So you have your echo, and then you just have your flat out print. And I'm actually gonna go look up the difference because I'm kind of curious. So let's say world says hello mate, right? And let's see what this looks like. Now, you're probably, if you don't know anything, and if you're taking this because you're an absolute beginner, going to be shocked by the results. You're going to think it's going to say hello world in one line, and world says hello mate on the next. Well, let's see what it looks like. Exactly, no styling, no spacing, no break lines. It's because in PHP, we have to specify all that. So the beauty about these double quotes right here is that in a PHP script, as I previously stated before, you can run HTML. So we can have HTML here and run PHP in here, right? And we can do the reverse. We can run HTML in PHP. But there's a catch. Obviously, it needs to be something you print out. You're not just going to have HTML properties here. That's not going to work. You're going to get an error. What you have to do is you have to print it out. You're printing out the HTML, right? So right here, after we say hello world, we're going to do a little break line. We're going to see if this fixes our problem, our styling problem. So let's refresh. Would you look at that? It brings it to the next line. So it executed, as you can see right here, the break line, because it's just literally printing this out. So we can go into further styling. We can make this as a heading 1. We can make this underlined, as you see here, right? And the reason why it's all H1 is because I forgot that backslash. So here we go. We have our H1, as you can see here, H1 hello world, and our underlined world says hello mate. Now obviously, like, this is just really weird, but I'm showing you examples, right? Practical uses is that this can be, you can print out a title, and this will be your content, right? Oops, that's not gonna work. So this can be your content. So this will look exactly like this, just not underlined. Oh my gosh, I forgot that backslash again. So you can have a title and a content, you know, like if it was like a blog post or something, you know, just lots of stuff. And as you can see, the PHP script is straight out just printing this HTML. So that's really all I wanted to do. I just wanted to get you into a brief introduction to PHP and get you programming. I don't want to bore you with all the boring fundamentals and all that stuff in the first video. What the heck? No, I want you to get a program out. I want you to see the results just so you're interested. Stay tuned. Watch more. Good luck, mate.